Good morning, spaceman. Welcome to Space Operations Delta. I'm your captain, Captain Collins. Welcome to another episode of BattleTech. Today we want to talk about evasion, and we want to focus down on everything that has to do with evasion. For that, let's jump right into the game. So I started a random skirmish to show you a few parts about evasion. First of all, what is evasion? Evasion is a decrease in accuracy that you can gain or that you see on enemies. And in BattleTech you get these visually by so-called pips. So if we take, for example, the spider and we move somewhere, you will see that the order where you go will have 4 of these so-called pips. And if we move in there, you saw 4 pips. When the mech is at his destination, he gains 4 of these. These are 4 evasion points. Every single point of evasion gives you a 10% decrease of accuracy. In this case, the enemy has a minus 40% chance to hit that mech. On the other hand, if you see an enemy mech with these points right off his name, then the enemy has got the decreased accuracy against your mechs. In BattleTech, there are a few ways to gain evasion. First of all is moving as far as you can. The more you move, the more evasion points you get. As you see, there are 6 of these pips. As if I would just go a short way, then I would just get 1 evasion pip. To gain more evasion, you have specific options to increase that amount of evasion you get. For example, if you're using your jump jets and you go the same way, as you can see, you gain more of these evasion pips for the same distance. So as you see, if I would jump as far as I could, I would gain 5 pips. And if I would sprint to this location, I would gain 4 pips. So every single time you use your jump jets, you get 1 evasion point more. This is one possibility to gain more evasion with every single mech warrior. But there's another point, for example, with Witness. He has got the ability which is called Sure Footing, and this Sure Footing will give you 1 bonus evasion charge after moving. This is specifically good if you can't move too far or you have a very heavy mech that will not gain evasion because he can't go that far. Let's take, for example, that Atlas. That Atlas just can't move that far. For example, you gain maximum 1 evasion point just because it's so heavy. And with the ability Sure Footing, you would gain 2 evasion points. This is minus 20 accuracy. So this makes a very big difference in your game. Also, sometimes you may be asking yourself, why are there even these small mechs around? Well, small mechs gain more evasion points because they can move further away. While gaining this evasion points, this is basically their exchange for not having that much armor. And when you even compare that with a ability, for example, Bulwark, where you gain the double amount of damage reduction when you're in cover, you can get into a good position with a lot of evasion points, and you gain also the double amount of damage reduction if something hits you, although you are at minus 50 or minus 60% evasion. So this is the basic how you gain evasion, but how do you reduce evasion, or how do you get evasion reduced? So here we have our first enemy, and he has got 7 evasion points. There are a few ways how you can reduce evasion on your enemy. Also, there are the same methods that enemies can reduce evasion on your mechs. So it's always the same for you and your enemy. One thing, for example, could be that you take an mech warrior and you have the ability Sensor Lock. If you are using the ability Sensor Lock on an enemy, this will remove 2 evasion points. This way he loses 2 evasion points, and you get also visuals on this enemy for the whole round. So after this round is finished, you are also losing sight of the enemy. As you can see at the moment, we can still see him, although he's out of range. The next thing how we can decrease evasion points are simply by shooting an enemy. And by shooting an enemy, that enemy will always lose 1 evasion point. And it doesn't matter if the enemy is getting hit or if the enemy is not getting hit. So if we attack now this locust and we fire on him, it doesn't matter if we hit him or not. As you saw, there was -1 evasion there. And also there are some things to consider, how to place your own mechs so that you don't lose too much evasion against enemies. There you saw a specialty. When you are attacking another mech with melee and you have support weapons on your mech, the opponent will lose 1 evasion for the melee attack. You will see that -1 evasion. But after that attack, that mech will also shoot with the support weapons and the opponent will lose a 2nd evasion point. So here in this case, we have 2 mechs that are standing in a line of sight behind each other. And if we shoot down one of these, we have a chance to stray shot the other. This is a chance to take down evasion points or to give other mechs also damage without having the ability to multi-target. So if we try, for example, to fire on this one here, then you will see that we got a stray shot right there on the other mech too. If it hits, then the other mech will also lose an evasion point. And now I already talked about multi-target, and of course you can take multi-target if you have 3 of these mechs around, for example, but you want to shoot down just one of them. In the same turn, you can also take down the evasion points of the other 2. If you just take all of these 3 as target, 1, 2, 3, and you give the other 2s just your lowest hitting weapons. There you go with B and C, as you can see on the right side. So you just have to click a few times on these weapons to change the target. And then you fire, you distribute all the damage you wanted on your first target, for example. But in the same turn, in the same turn, you gain also, or you shoot down the evasion points of the others. And as you see, the 1 evasion point is gone, 2 turned down to 1 evasion point, and you have a way better chance with your next mech to hit down the other targets. Maybe you shut down the first target, perfect. Then you have 2 less evasion points in the long run in this game left that you need to consider. Now we have both of them in the line of sight. Let's try to do this again and shoot down the one in the back with just the SRMs. And as you see, there was a stray shot. And these stray shots, as you can see, also take down evasion points of your enemies. Now let's finish these dudes off just to complete this mission here, and let's make it quick. And with this last shot of the Atlas, we call this video a success, and thank you so much for stopping by for my short evasion guide. Thank you so much. We'll see us again next time. I'm Captain Collins. Goodbye. See you soon.